Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki and today I am going to show you our morning milking routine plus what I do with some of the milk. I am by no means saying that this is the only way to milk, but this is something that has worked very well for us. We've gotten into a really good routine. I am excited to take you along. You can see here that Courtney knows exactly what to do. She hopped right up and I don't have to lock her head in the gate. So let's get to it. And I just move with her. If she goes backwards, I go backwards. If she goes forward, I go forward. Sometimes she needs to take a break, and that's totally fine too. Typically, I'm done milking before she is ready to be done eating. But I switch hands frequently because it's a lot of work milking a goat. I believe I got exactly 2 cups from her. So that is pretty much the most I've ever gotten, which is wild. But the next goat that I bring in, her name is Kayla. I'm going to show you a bit of a different angle because she has a trickier udder to milk. So same thing with Kayla here. But she's got very small teats, so it makes it a lot harder to milk. I will give you some tips on milking a small teat goat. But basically, for her, I have to just milk out the teat and not put my fingers on her udder at all. That's one of those things where if you don't milk goats on a consistent basis, you don't really know what I'm talking about. But typically you'll kind of grab up into the udder too. The best advice that I can give if you are milking a goat with some small teats, practice your hand positioning. And you see she a little bit not into that moment, so I took a pause. And I really try and go with the flow of what my goats are telling me. I feel like we've really built up a mutual trust and respect. And I think that that is more important to me than getting the absolute most amount of milk that I can get. But I am planning on making yogurt as well as a farmer's cheese. Girl Carmela. Carmela here is my biggest producer by far. She's very lovely to milk too. You put your milk in a non-spillable spot. Literally nothing worse than milking and then having a goat dump it all over the place. Now, if you have never tried goat milk, you may have heard that it is very goaty, which definitely can be the case. And I've made yogurt before where it's on day like 4 or 5 and the initial taste is good, but then I'm like, oh, yep. You can just really taste the goat. Other than that, when it's been sitting for a while, I find it does not have a goat flavor at all. It actually tastes, in my opinion, a lot sweeter than cow milk. All right, now for my favorite part. Let's let the babies out. So they found mama. They found mama. They found mama. They're very rough. So my milking has nothing on them. I just want to show you these teeny tiny babies. We let this Orpington brood and she was able to hatch 2 babies and she is a really good mom. So as I mentioned earlier, I typically do not have a goat milk taste. And that is because I process my milk right away. I always run it through the strainer because we will get some stray hairs. Now, to pasteurize any sort of milk, you have to heat your milk to 165 degrees Fahrenheit and hold it for 15 seconds. Honestly, if we are going to be drinking the milk, I do pasteurize it only because I do not have aseptic technique yet. I'm still learning. This is my first year milking goats successfully. But of course, if you are more comfortable with it, you do you. Now, today we are going to be making a little bit more yogurt. If you want to learn exactly the steps on how to do that, watch my other video where I show you exactly how to make yogurt. Now, in that video, I do use store-bought cow's milk, but I think that that is a lot more accessible to people. So that is probably going to be a helpful video, I hope. And we are also going to make farmer's cheese. So let's get into that. I turned the heat to low and now I'm gonna put a thermometer in. I just have a cheapy thermometer. Of course, it would be nicer if I had a digital one, but this one was just very reasonably priced and it works perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're giving it a stir quite often, because this will develop a skin on the top that we don't really want. It could also scald the bottom, which is why we're doing it on very low heat. The temperature has hit 165, so we're gonna turn it off the heat. Now, I'm just gonna scoop out some goat milk, pour it into this jar. It's warm and sanitized straight from the dishwasher. You always want to pour warm or hot liquids into a warm jar. Otherwise, it could burst. So we're going to set this aside to cool down. To make the yogurt, I've let this cool down for about half an hour or so. It's still warm, but it's not hot anymore. So I'm going to take a previous batch of yogurt. I made this a couple days ago, and I'm just going to add about a tablespoon or so into my milk and give it a good stir. Add a lid. And this is going into our dehydrator. If you want to watch the rest of how I make this yogurt, check out my other video all about making yogurt. And now we're going to get started on our farmer's cheese. You can use citric acid or you can use lemon juice. I tend to lean more towards citric acid. I just find that it curdles a little bit better, but lemon juice will also work and it will leave a nice lemony flavor as well. So typically when you're making a farmer's cheese, you want to add the citric acid and heat up the milk at the same time. But because we also made yogurt, I'm going to put the citric acid in now that it's been to the temperature of pasteurization. So I'm going to sprinkle roughly a teaspoon in there. Give it a quick stir. And you can see immediately it starts working, curdling the milk. Now we add a lid and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. I love this little timer. We're going to set it for 10 minutes. This little timer is so handy because you don't have to use any other timers. You can still use all of your appliances like you normally would, but it is beautiful, a little canning pot. I'll put a link in the description box below. I would highly recommend. So we have our pot of milk here that has been curdling for 10 minutes. We are going to strain it. I may not have chosen a big enough bowl. I'm going to show you what I do with the whey after. So we're actually just going to strain it into here instead. And I will pour all of the whey into this container here. And my strainer is just going to sit on top of the bowl over there. We're going to let that rest for about half an hour. So I'll use my handy dandy timer again. So we have the timer set for 30 minutes and I will see you back here. This has been straining for half an hour and you can see it's quite stiff now. It doesn't move around. So that is perfect. The rest of our whey will go into our container again. So now that I've got my cheese mostly strained out, we can just kind of scrape it out of here. You can use cheesecloth. I have much better success just with a metal strainer like this though. So scrape it front and back because there's all of this cheese on the back as well. Now you can leave it just like this, but sometimes I like to blend it up. Then it becomes kind of more a laughing cow cheese consistency. To this cheese, we're gonna add a little pinch of salt. This is really to taste, but I would say this is about half a teaspoon of salt. And then we will give it a mix. Like I said, I find this a little bit too crumbly for my liking. So I just add a splash of whey back in. And then I go in with an immersion blender. You can see how it's getting a little bit more combined, but it still needs a little more liquid. So you could use more milk or you could use the whey. But now this cheese looks a lot more combined, which is definitely what we want. You can season this however you like. I'm going to make smoked garlic and dill cheese. So we'll do about a quarter teaspoon. Give it a good mix. Now, whenever you're making any food, it is so important to try it before you are ready to serve it or store it. Okay, this needs a little bit more salt and it needs a little more garlic. So I think we're gonna end up with about a half a teaspoon of garlic and 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, give it a good mix. Now, the key to turning this into a nice block of cheese is to take some plastic wrap and place it down on your surface like so. Now you take your chunk of cheese, place it right in the middle. Looks like I did not do a very good job of incorporating that, but that's okay. It's gonna give it a beautiful color. And then what you do is roll this up, kind of squishing it down as you go. Into a log of cheese. And then you tie off the ends, spinning it, because you're trying to get this into a nice roll of cheese. Now this is perfect to go into the fridge or the freezer, and it slices wonderfully. It also freezes beautifully and you would never know it was frozen. I would highly recommend this cheese if you're looking for something simple, beginner friendly, and that you can preserve for the winter. Now, if you have made cheese before, you know that one of the byproducts of cheese is whey. You get so much whey that it is crazy. So what I'll do when I'm processing my milk is make my cheese, and then I store my whey in one of these half-gallon mason jars in my fridge. The nice thing about whey is it stores for a while in the fridge, a couple of weeks. So I can save up a big batch. And then when I run my dehydrator to make yogurt, I just add my whey to a baking dish like this. This is a 9x13. And I fill it about an inch tall like you saw, no more than that. Place it in the dehydrator, and it does take quite some time, but that is for another video. Then I turn this into my own homemade whey powder. If you're interested in seeing a video like that, definitely let me know down in the comments below. I would love to make a video like that in the future, but for now I'm gonna go run and put my whey as well as my yogurt into the dehydrator. I'll be back. I was in fact not right back, so I apologize about that. It is definitely a couple weeks later from the video, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you got some really good ideas on how you can make your own yogurt or farmer's cheese at home. Thanks again, I really appreciate your support. Take care.